Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we'll be taking a look at the winter storm that is exiting the Midwest now, and then we look down in the south and we have another storm that will affect the south and the northeast, and then midweek we have a nor'easter, so we have a lot planned for today. If we take a look at the GFS, you can see that the storm is just about in eastern Michigan and is rapidly moving out. The back end of the snow is going to quickly move out by the end of tonight, and tomorrow morning it should be all gone. If we continue and you take a look down to the south, you see you have a pretty good snow system that is going to form. You have the cold air coming down from Canada interacting with the Gulf moisture, and then in between that, well, actually just past that, you will have a big pocket of snow form, as shown by the GFS. That diminishes that snow threat down in the south, but then as the storm makes its way up into the northeast, again the cold air starts to come down and interact with the snow. You can see you have on the back side you have some snow, and then on the next side here the snow starts to expand. But then again, the ground will be wet, and I don't think you'll get much accumulation at all out of this, maybe a couple inches in the coldest areas, but then again at least you get to see some flakes. But then as that storm gets out of here, you can see that you have a storm in the south getting ready to go up to the coast. You have a low pressure down in Florida, and then the storm makes its way off the Carolinas, as shown by the GFS. If we get a closer look here on the eastern U.S., you can see in the next slide you have the storm just off Maryland, and then in the next slide just off the New Jersey coast. You have a pretty wrapped up low here, and on to the north of that you have heavy snowfall from eastern PA all across New Jersey and Long Island and parts of Connecticut. As time goes on, the storm makes its way to the benchmark and moves east, and you still have heavy snow in Long Island, Connecticut, and Massachusetts and Rhode Island here. This could be a major snow event for some parts of the area. If we take a look at the total snowfall depicted by the GFS, you can see back in the south you have a decent pocket of a little bit of snow to a major bit of snow here. Anywhere in the pink is up to 6 to 8 inches, and then this little pocket here is maybe exceeding 8 inches. Now if we take a close up on the northeast here, just to get a better view on this, you can see that the GFS wants to produce big time numbers here. Anywhere in this green area is above a foot of snow, and in this dark green shown in this area is above 18 inches, which is a lot of snow here. If we take a look at the Canadian here, you can see that it's almost similar with the GFS. You can see, let me just zone out here and go to the precipitation. The storm in the Midwest moves out. The storm in the south drops a couple inches, maybe even several inches of snow in parts of Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas. And then the storm makes its way to the northeast, but on this run it doesn't really have much snow on the western side of it. But as you take a look here in the northeast, you have the storm again forming up in the northeast, and we are positive there's going to be a storm here. There's no doubting that. We're almost positive too it won't go straight up through interior northeast like the other storm did that dropped several inches of snow through Maine and New Hampshire, because you have a block just north of Maine draining all that cold air from Canada. If we continue here, the low is just on the coast of Maryland and touching Delaware, and then the storm makes its way northeast, and then you have this rain and snow line just south of Long Island. Maybe the other forks could get into rain, but at least on this run, Nassau and Suffolk County are all snow. If we take a next look here, the storm just starts to depart and the rain and snow line starts to drop south. So the outer forks are now in snow, and then the storm moves out. If we take a look at the snow totals here, you can see that again the 12-inch line stretches from New York, but it goes back a little more south into Maryland and touching Virginia, across all of Long Island, and getting out to Plymouth and back up to parts of Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Massachusetts. This will be a very big snow event for some parts of the area, and if we take a look at the European, it also shows a big snow event here. It shows a storm departing, and then in the south you have not as bullish as the GFS though, but it still has a decent amount of snow coming down, but then it's almost in agreement with the Canadian not having too much snow on the northern flank of this system that goes to the northeast. Now, if we take a look closer for this nor'easter here, you can see that the storm starts to come up in the south and then it moves toward the north. Just off the coast of, oh, actually touching Delaware here, and then the rain and snow line is again just south of Long Island, which is actually getting a little more closer inland, but not too close. All of Nassau County is snow, all of New York City is snow, and 3/4 of Suffolk is all snow. If we continue here, you can see that the storm starts to move eastward, so that rain and snow line drops to the south, and then almost all of New Jersey is in snow, and Delaware almost is almost in snow. Now, let's say you're at this point here and you still haven't changed over, and the rain and snow line isn't moving any more north, and it's staying where it is. Then I would expect, if the European is right, the heavy totals would be right back in this area because that's where the heavy snow is. This is just north of the rain and snow line. Now, we don't know exactly where the banding is going to set up for this storm, but as of right now, we can take a look at snowfall totals, and the European wants to produce the heaviest bulk of snow right where I showed you before. Sorry about that. Anywhere in this area will be above a foot plus in this red area. Long Island, 18 inches across Suffolk and Nassau, and almost through central and northern New Jersey, 12 to 18. But then back here to Virginia, Maryland, and Pennsylvania, you have a pocket of 24 inches or even more. Now, I think this is just a European overdoing it once again, but that's always good to keep in mind. If we take a look at the watches and warnings here, you can see that all the watches and advisories have dissipated and gone away because there's barely any snow left. You still have the winter storm warnings in Michigan, and then you have the winter weather advisories back up into Maine. Now, the storm that's going to come down and affect the south, you have winter storm warnings for Kansas, Oklahoma, and one county of Texas here, and you have New Mexico and Colorado. But the advisories stretch out pretty far here, stretch out from all the way back from Utah, parts of Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, and then Texas here, and then back into Oklahoma. When we take a look at the National Weather Service here for the total snowfall prediction through Tuesday here, you can see that, let me erase all that, you still have about a couple inches left in Michigan, and then in Maine you could see pockets of 1 to 3 inches, pockets of more than that, maybe 5 to 8 in the most northern top here of Maine. And then if you take a look in the south, you have this widespread area of 1 inch, 1 inch right in this area, and then you have a big pocket of 3 to maybe even 8 inches across Texas, Colorado, New Mexico, Oklahoma, and Kansas here, and even in parts of Arkansas here. Now, if you take a look into the northeast, after I erase this real quick, you can see for that when the system comes up into the north, you have some snow that could accumulate here, from upstate New York down to Pennsylvania, maybe into parts of Maryland, northern central New Jersey, Long Island, and all across the whole northeast here. This up here is most likely from the storm that's coming from Michigan, so I would erase that. So anywhere in this area could see an inch or maybe even a little more. Now finally, this is the image that we have from the winter probability outlook for the northeast here. You can see that the 90 to 70% of chance of 1 inch of snow stretches pretty far for the storm being 3 to 4 days out. Now this is going to expand out into Long Island by tomorrow, and then you have this blue 50 to 70% chance across all of Long Island all the way back up into the northeast. For this being 3 to 4 days out, this is pretty high of confidence that they have right now, and that's something to keep in mind. I hope you all had a great day, and I hope you enjoy your weekend.